We're just excited about all the program success.
And we're ready to get started. Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for the first edition of the Ryan Lewicki Show here in 2025. Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, we tried it last week with Carolina, but unfortunately the weather was bad. Talk about you're coming back this week, going to get on the field hopefully for the first time in Charleston. Talk about getting back out there.
Yeah, I think, last weekend's tough. We get planned all spring, 5 weeks of prep to go play down in the Carolinas, get a good weekend of the only set really of non-regional play for us to get ready for the season. And, it's baseball. Weather happens. So guys got back to work. We actually still went outside at the local high school to, get a game type of rep in over on Saturday, took Sunday off, and then got back at it yesterday to get ready for the week. So the only difference, this will now be the opener with UPJ, a big in-region series to start the year. I think the guys are still hungry. I don't think anything's changed. They're itching to go because it's now week 6 instead of week 5 for us before playing baseball. So I think we're excited. We're ready. It'll be a really good test to start the year with UPJ for now 4 games instead of 3. So we'll see how we do.
And you mentioned you guys still got a chance to play each other in a game-style setting. Talk about how that kind of helps you, even though it's not a different opponent, just getting in that game situation.
Yeah, because you can't replicate indoors to outdoors in baseball, right? You can't get fly balls. You can't do cut relay. You can't see ball in flight that well as a hitter. So anytime just playing baseball, it's going to be better than being indoors. Now, granted, I would probably have rather been indoors Saturday. It was about 35 with rain, so probably not the brightest decision on my end. But at the end of the day, the guys get the concepts, and they understand the fact that we have to play. Like, with so many new players, we have to play. We have to get comfortable. We have to get used to each other still. You only get 3 times to do this in the fall with this group. So, and the last one being middle of October, it's a long time. So it is good to get out and play still, and now it's just that time of the year, hopefully, where you get out and you start playing other competition consistently.
And you have a lot of veterans on the pitching staff. The pitching staff seems to be more veteran than the hitters. Talk about the top 2 on that staff in Wes Landis and Cody McCarley and kind of how they're leading the charge.
Yeah, Cody's been around us for 3 years. He's been a captain 2 years. He's been the ace to the last 2 years. He'll be the ace again this year. Workhorse. I mean, he just is. He's a workhorse. He's thrown probably 20 to 25 different times for us, mostly starts. He's thrown 100-plus innings for us in 2 years. We'll be on track to probably be top 2 to 3 in almost every category there is at the end of his career for us. So, guy's done everything I've asked. Just been a great leadership, great team guy sometimes. Gets a little bit over the edge, but that's what an ace does, right? That's his job at times. But he's going to give us a shot to win every time he takes the baseball. And Wes is just getting better. Year 1 last year for Wes as a true sophomore was the 4-starter with 3 older guys. And I think as the year progressed, Wes just got better and better. And I think that's what's exciting for him now is in year 2 with us, year 3, I think the confidence in the stuff is just getting better. We were just watching him throw the other day, and he was working on something. He just doesn't throw a lot, and it looks really good. And we're like, man, we got to find a way to use this consistently for yourself long term. And he's probably where Cody was 2 years ago. So he's only getting better as this goes on. He'll have another shot to throw 50, 60 innings for us, 10, 11 starts in the year. Hopefully make a bigger name for himself this year. I think that's a big importance for me to him is get your name out there a little bit now too. So those 2 guys are great. You got a 1-2 punch that's going to give you a shot every time. And then the biggest thing right now is figuring out really the rest of the pieces with the staff the rest of the way.
And looking at the lineup, a lot of changes on the lineup. As you said, a lot of new guys, but a couple of consistencies. Nick Anslett, your top hitter from last year, returns, as well as Spencer Craig and Christian Boyles. Talk about the lineup a little bit and kind of how you're looking to shape it up.
Yeah, it'll be new. Anytime you lose, and let's be honest, you lose 75% of your power production, it's going to be a different offense. You don't have a Killens that's going to hit 15-plus home runs in the middle. You don't have guys like Willard and Scotty and, other guys throughout your lineup that are all guys that have been starting for 2+ years here that, all hit over 300 last year with multiple home runs that, had great seasons a year ago. It's hard to replace that consistently at this level. But we have good talent. And we have guys that did really good jobs at either a D2, D1 or their junior college prior to coming here this year. So it's good to have some guys back that have experience and understand this league, right? Nick Anslin's coming off a best year probably in his career, last year. He's back. Spencer Craig's a 3-year now starter. He's back, which is really good. Boyle's a 3-year type starter, which is back. So you do have some guys that are really familiar and have a lot of experience with our league. The other 5 or 6 to 7 new guys, it's just going to take some time to get them comfortable with the league and what we do here in this region. But the talent's still there. It's just we're going to be different. We may not be as power-based as before. We may be more athletic than we've ever been. So we'll see. I just think it can be a really fun offense in a very different way than what we're used to here.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, throughout this non-conference schedule, you set up a big in-region opponent schedule as you guys are trying to reach your goal of the NCAA tournament. Talk about these in-region games and kind of how important this early part of the season is.
Yeah, the way the NCAA works, the way D2 baseball works, RPI matters, strength of schedule matters, in-region wins matter. In-region wins against teams above 500 matter. D2 is very different from Division I baseball and Division I sports in general, and I don't think sometimes people understand that. You have to be really good in your region to have a shot to play in the NCAA tournament, not just good overall. So for us, you have to play games and teams that are consistently in your region and hopefully are consistently above 500 in your region long term. So where we go get a UPJ who a year ago is a 20-some win team, hopefully they're better and we find a way to win a weekend. You go play Westchester coming off a 40-win season last year down in Cary, huge game for us in region. You get Lake Erie, who's technically not in the Atlantic, but they're a bordering state, so it's still in-region games who, they're starting off, I think 3-3 after playing 2 ranked teams this year, right, for us. So, and then you add every midweek with Cal, Seton Hill, IUP, all above 500 teams in our region. So the concept's simple. Have to play in region opponents, have to play good in region opponents, and you have to find ways to win those. If you don't, it's really hard to rely on just winning your conference tournament to play in mid-May. So for us, that was the point of the schedule. Let's do everything we can to give ourselves every opportunity to where if we're not winning the Mountain East at the end of the year, do we do enough throughout 50 games to have a shot to play in the NCAA tournament?
And this weekend, you start things off with UPJ. Talk about them and kind of the matchup you guys are facing.
Yeah, just like us, they have a lot of new on the staff. A lot of their hitters are back, so we do have some feel for what they want to do offensively. Pitching, they have 1 starter back and not as many bullpen pieces as some. So I think they're going to be very new on the mound. They'll be really competitive. It's what the PSAC is. They pitch well, and I think they're just still trying to figure out their identity with their offense, what they want to do there. So I think it'll be a good test for us. I really do. I think good matchups, even ball clubs, a lot of what they do, we do. I think it'll be a good tune-up for us for the rest of the year. Concepts trying to win 3 out of 4, right, to win your first weekend. But they're going to be really, really competitive. They played 1 game this year. We've had none. So you talk about 2 teams that it's February 22nd, supposedly first pitch date, and haven't played really any baseball. So there'll be mistakes. I think it will both be a little rocky, but a really good anticipation when you get to play at Gomore Ballpark in Charleston, where our conference tournament's held with a massive in-region, 4-game set this weekend.
And talk about your goals as you go out. You mentioned you're playing at the park. It's going to be the MEC tournament. Talk about some of your goals as you get this year going.
Yeah, it's simple. The 2 big ones, number 1, win every weekend, right? Try to win every weekend. Try to stack weekends together, not only in conference play but in region play to set you up for postseason baseball. And the ultimate goal is to do what's never been done, right? Make the NCAA tournament. Whether you win the Mountain East at the end of the year, whether you do enough to be top 6 or 7 in your region, the goal for us from day one when we started this in 19 was to get this team to that caliber. Right now in 2025 and 6 years later, we've scratched that door for a while. And I think now it's, even with the new group and with a whole bunch of new players, the expectation hasn't changed. It's just, can we get over that hump finally to get to the NCAA tournament? So win weekends, stack them together, both in region and in conference, and find a way to get to the ultimate goal, which is to play in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck this weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
We're just excited about all the program success.
And we're ready to get started. Thanks, Zach. Go Cards.